Hey, this is Norm from Tested, and it's Joey. Joey! Some of you might not know this, but Joey's our producer. He shoots and edits the majority of the videos you see here on Tested. And today, we thought we'd give you a little behind the scenes of some of the equipment we've been using in recent videos, like our one-day builds with Adam, like our premium videos, and some of our time-lapse stuff. Specifically, some of the tripod and slider equipment. So,
yeah, some of the movement.
Yeah, getting some movement. We've been experimenting with cameras, behind the scenes throughout the history of Tested. We started with those big Panasonic cameras. We've been using things like this, the Blackmagic Pocket
Cinema camera.
Yep, Cinema camera, and we're actually shooting this video with a Canon C100. Different sizes for different cameras, but to add some movement in there, what is this slider?
This was the first thing we got about a year ago. This is the Liebeck Alex. It's your basic manual camera slider. It's there's a few of these. Rhino Gear makes one. Kessler makes one. They they let you add
some horizontal movement. Now, when you're thinking about shooting a video, for example, you might have seen a cave video where we had used a slider. You can move horizontally. You can use it to do turns and slides. Like, how do you think of it from a cinematographic standpoint?
I was doing some pushes every time we were in Adam's shop, and he was just working on something. I can just run, grab the slider, and just come in, do a nice push and pull focus, or even just move the camera and follow him, or do like reveals, just kind of come out from someplace. It's lightweight, it's easy to use. I can just run around and throw it on the ground. It's got these little legs here, so you can just take it off the tripod completely and just throw it on a table and just use it that way.
So like a two-camera setup, for example, where one camera is kind of a wide shot for two people talking, another camera kind of focusing on what we're talking about or someone's face, could you also use this?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a very common setup for us, right? We have one camera focused on the person and another on the product. I monitor both, but I can use one hand and just take a look and get some movement.
And it's a very manual process. Now, something that's a little more automated is this guy right here. This is called a one-man crew, made by Redrock Micro. We got this on loan from B&H. They wanted to get us some camera gear to try out, and we thought this was interesting because it's an automated, it's a motorized slider. Yes. So what does this do?
So that allows you to just completely forget about it. You just do a setting and let the camera go. Now, it's a little bit different in what it does. Like I said, this is a linear slider, right? Left and right. This is on a parabolic slight angle, so it's got this curve to it. And what that does is allows you to focus on something about 6 feet, I believe, ahead, and then have the camera kind of curve around that while keeping that main thing in focus, while the rest of the thing is.
So this curve here is such that it's about a 6-foot radius between this and the center focal point.
Yeah, and it gives you a little laser, these two lasers that pop out. Lets you match those up. That's when when you're in that point right there will be in the center this entire time, this entire frame, because this guy doesn't move left or right. Right, so he's always pointing the same direction forward. He can go up and down, but always straight ahead.
So this thing, you can just turn it on, let it go, and it'll go back and forth?
Yeah, you set it to whichever direction you want to start at. It'll go to that end of that direction, and then it'll automatically come back with a slight little ease in, so it doesn't make it super jarring. So it'll give an ease in, then ease back out to that direction.
And you can also set limits. You
can set limits if you don't, like right there. I have the left limit set to that point, so it'll hit that, and then it'll come back to the other way. And you can manage your movement in that regard. And there's not a whole lot of options you can do outside of that, but those are the few that you can control.
Now, I also imagine this can be used for time lapse. Like, you can set the interval real slow and do the math, so you can set this over multiple hours.
And that's what I think is the best thing about this. Me having a camera on the side and moving it manually isn't that bad, and I kind of like having that control. I like easing myself in and stopping, or adjusting easily and moving the camera around. This limits you when it does that. I mean, you're stuck with what you're doing. I think it's really good for time-lapse photography because of that constant slow movement, which is what you need for 4-hour time-lapse. You can't be manually pushing the camera. You need something to keep that so it looks real smooth when the footage is actually sped up.
But you can't just set to unlock and slide it.
No, which is what I want, because I want to do this, right? I want to frame up a shot. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. And then
let it go.
And then let it go. This you have to just wait. You have to dial it in and just
press the button.
Watch it go, and make sure, all right, that looks good. And see for another.
No, there's a newer version of this. I think also has like an app, and it connects to your phone. You can program from there. Or this one is just manual dials.
Yeah, right now it's all manual dials, and the setting through different modes is a little clunky. You have to hold buttons, power it on, see a blinking light, hit something else. It's a whole process. The lights blinking will tell you what mode you're in, but you kind of need a reference paper to know what you're in. The app allows you to do everything from your phone or tablet and make settings quickly. And
is this kind of thing that when you're watching like YouTube videos or newscasts, like you can see someone actually, yep, they're using that one-man crew?
It's really popular in documentaries and like interviews. You can totally see that B camera. You have a main camera coming forward, and then that B camera, and the B camera is always just a nice little
sliding.
Nice little slide, and it's good for that. It's great for that, I think. But that and the time lapse, really all you have to use this for.
Right, and this is really horizontal motion. You're not going to do pushes ins and zooms with this.
No, like I said, you can't move this camera head. So I mean, you could add something on top of that, and then allow you to change it up a little bit. But those movements kind of limit you. The parabolic angle.
And if you just want to do time-lapse stuff, I've been testing this for a while. It's called the Radian. It's from Alpine Labs, about $200. They just launched the second one on Kickstarter. And this one also you plug into your phone, you set the interval, purely rotational motion, but you can actually mount this on like a motorized slider and get 2 axes of motion, which would be really cool for a time-lapse.
Yeah, I think that kind of stuff's really interesting. Like the building out from this or building up for something like that is great for time lapse.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't use this I wouldn't bring this to Adam's cave, right? Like it's big, it's bulky, it needs power. There are battery rigs you can do with it, but it's just too much. I can't grab spontaneous moments with Adam or when we're on the road. It's too planned.
Cool. Well, that one's $400.
Yeah,
this one's the Alex.
The Liebig Alex system is $400 for the slider.
The one-man crew?
This guy's about $1,300, $1,200, $1,300.
Cool. And thanks to B&H for loaning us this gear to do this test. If you have questions about how we shoot our videos, post them in the comments below. But otherwise, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.